And welcome back to the Press Star Podcast. I'm your host Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin', and this is episode number 65. And of course, I'm joined by my co-host Lunatic Oblivion.
Hey, welcome back, guys. It's episode 65. We got some cool games coming out this week. We had some interesting games come out last week, but Vic, this week we have another guest with us today. So could you introduce our new guest?
Yeah, man, we got Dayne, aka DJB, over on Facebook. If you just want to go ahead, introduce yourself, like where do you stream at, what do you play, any communities you're a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys, for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, Vic asked me if I wanted to do this, and I felt obligated to. It felt like a good opportunity, help out podcasts, help out my stream as well. So my name is Dayne. I'm from Central Pennsylvania. Been basically playing games my whole life. Started when I was really young with my dad and his friends in his apartment playing Tiger Woods and Madden. Like those are the two that I really started on. And so as my dad's weekend playing on the games and stuff with all these older people, I just really fell in love with starting to play. So I eventually recently about 2018 I started streaming. Just a buddy of mine had talked about how big it's gotten and how not necessarily easy it is to start, but how much more streamlined it is to stream nowadays. It wasn't like it was in 2005 to try to do something like what we're doing now, where you just hop into Discord and get it all set up. It's a way different world. So
Right.
I was like, all right, let's go give it a shot. And so just kind of started putting things together in the basement, and yeah, I felt like Facebook was a good place to start for me to stream on. Twitch is obviously the kind of the primary platform, but I felt like that was for people that are playing games and doing things at an expert level almost. So I was like, I don't know that I'm skill level there or as fine tuned as I should be. So I was like, maybe if I play on Facebook, I'll just get people who are stumbling upon the video that they don't really know that they like streaming, but it's something that they might enjoy. So that was kind of my thought process on why I started with the Facebook gaming platform instead of Twitch, or at the time Mixer was still available,
Right.
or YouTube streaming or anything like that. So, I mean, now I've heard people talking about there's TikTok streaming and you can stream live on there. Like people have kind of been exploring that. So, I mean, I feel pretty comfortable on Facebook. So yeah, so I had the shameless plug. I'm DJB on Facebook. It's a little purple avatar. It looks like me with more of a bald head. But yes, that's typically where I go live from, and have the Instagram and all that good stuff as well, just to kind of post clips and interact and network. But yeah, so for the most part, the games I play, I'm a Warzone junkie. I play that every day. I got to get my few hours in, no matter what, sick, tired, kids up, middle of the night. I got to just come down and get a few games in. My friends pick on me because if no one else is on, I'll play solo duos, just battle royale solo duos. Solos I can't play. People camp too much. They hide in bush. I can't play that. I feel like it's a different game. So I
Yeah.
like to play solo duos, kind of challenge myself. 1-on-2 is what we're usually playing anyway. You feel like you're in a two-man fight. But yeah, so they'll pickle me and they're like, "That's just torture. How do you do that to yourself?" And I'm like, "I just got to get a couple shots in." So, but yeah, if my friends are on, we'll play some 2K. 2K is definitely a good spot for us. And I recently got into golf, so PGA is a lot of fun.
Okay.
Started playing golf in person, wasn't very good at it, didn't really understand it, and then came home and started playing it on the Xbox and started understanding it and getting better in person based on the understanding from the game. So I was like, all right, I'm going to devote some time to this too. Um, and then the most recent thing that I've started playing aside from Warzone, a little bit of Madden, 2K, and PGA. And we'll sneak in some Fall Guys for fun every now and then if we're all kind of hanging out having some beers. Yeah, we'll sneak in a late game of Fall Guys or something. But I just recently bought a setup. You can see it right here. The wheel back here is my iRacing setup. So I bought the full frame and that for playing iRacing on the PC. Which also, I mean, yeah, for the consoles that I play on Series X for the most part. Almost all those games are Series X except for iRacing. I built a PC a little while ago and it was kind of a test run. Sold it and then bought a new gaming PC, and I haven't made the jump yet. My PC is capable of playing Call of Duty and I just haven't made the jump to do it yet. I just still boot up Xbox every night, but now that I've started iRacing on the computer, I want to start maybe thinking about playing some of the other games on PC. Even if I hold a controller, I'm thinking about kind of making that jump here soon. So, but yeah, I mean that's kind of the overview of everything that I play and kind of go over and give a special shout out to my Denver Broncos who are struggling right now against the Jets. You got 3 minutes to go and down seven. It's a pathetic year, but yeah, so I've definitely had my head down playing a good bit of games because football Sunday is not it for me right now.
Yeah, I hear that.
Fair enough. So with you being a COD junkie, did you get to try the new Modern Warfare 2 campaign yet?
So I'm probably about three quarters of the way through. I've been streaming it a little bit. it's the first campaign I've looked forward to in years. And like I didn't even play the Modern Warfare one because I was freshly back to Call of Duty kind of at that point. So my friends played it and I was like, I don't really care. I just want to play multiplayer. And then when Battle Royale came out, but yeah, so the new one, yeah, I pre-ordered. I played the beta. I felt real good about the beta. Like I felt like it was clean. Like it sounded like for the first time, we always joke around that 2K listens to our conversations. Everything we say 2K should do, they implement. And then Call of Duty does the opposite. Like we were begging for like anti-cheat, and they were like, "But here's Godzilla and King Kong." So it was things like that where we were like, I feel like they're not listening, but now it feels like maybe they were ignoring Warzone to focus on the new game and
Yeah.
implement the things we were complaining about. So we'll see how launch goes and everything. But yeah, I'm very excited, and the campaign is definitely very clean too.
Fair enough. Yeah, I just streamed a little bit today for the campaign. Really enjoy it. I think the AI is a little bit like Call of Duty to expect from a Call of Duty game. They know where you are at all times. It feels
Yeah.
like some days like,
Yes.
but no, it feels really fucking clean. I'm actually excited to go back to a Call of Duty game for once and play multiplayer because I've moved away from it for years. I moved to arena shooters a long time ago and I played stuff like CS:GO and I played Valorant and Overwatch and I never really went back to Call of Duty, but this one feels good. It just everything about it I feel happy about how it plays, just the reflex, just even the map with the ship that we saw in the trailer, as well as that when Vic joined my stream earlier today to request a playthrough for next week, I felt good. Like even though I got killed multiple times by moving boxes, I wasn't upset. I was just like, damn, come on.
Yeah. What difficulty did you play on?
I hardened.
Okay.
Hardened. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that's yeah.
yeah,
We were talking about my buddies and I. They were like, "You're gonna struggle a little with Hardened and Veteran." They were like, "Just because you
yeah.
haven't played campaign, they're like, it's quick, like TTK, like you're down fast." And so I was like, "All right." I was like, "Maybe for the stream, I'll go to the regular." And I feel like that's a good spot. But I was like, I definitely am hungry to go back and do like Veteran. Or once I beat it, I'm gonna want to do the
Yeah.
realism one and struggle myself through.
Oh, dude, the hardened, there's moments where like the enemy will just be facing the other direction and I'll come behind them and they're like, and I'm like,
One
what?
shot. Yeah.
What, dude?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yep.
So, and the fact that they do also change up some of the pathing sometimes feels fun. I just, the game feels good. I'm super happy with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm definitely pumped for Modern Warfare 2. I pre-ordered it, so I have access to the campaign as well. I just haven't dove into it yet. I'm in the midst of beating a whole bunch of other games, so I just haven't had the time to hop in. But once that multiplayer drops, like I'm gonna be truly dedicated to that because I'm officially part of the Shoot to Win Call of Duty team. So we've been putting in practice now with the Warzone just to get our feet wet and like the work on the communication and the collaboration and whatnot and the chemistry there. But once the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer drops, that's what I'm going to be spending a lot of time with. So I'm really
Do you guys
excited for
play competitive multiplayer? Or do you play competitive like Battle Royale?
that. Both, technically.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited for that one.
Nice.
Awesome. So, Vic, I saw here on your list of games completed that you beat Metal Hellsinger this week, and you really have only been playing Warzone and Valorant. So, tell me about Hellsinger. What'd you think?
It's a great game. I'm really looking forward to writing the review, but just a quick rating. Gave it an 8 out of 10. This is a really solid game. It only takes about, give or take, 6 to 8 hours roughly to beat, and it's just one of those like rhythm-based first-person shooters that's like similar to Doom, but like if you don't shoot on beat with the song that's playing, you're really gonna struggle. Like if you struggle with hitting stuff on a certain beat with rhythm, you're gonna struggle. And I've noticed that when I try to beat the game the other day, I streamed it 2 different times for an hour long, and I died when I got to the final boss at the end of each mission and I was just like, why am I struggling? And I was like, I don't have a headset on. Music wasn't turned up. I had to turn down because my fiance was sleeping. So I was just like, all right, I understand. I wasn't hitting on beat. I died a lot. I'm going to do this another time. And I went when I revisited, completed the last 2 missions in an hour, and then finally finished the game. So but the story, the end of it, not to really spoil it, but it really sets up the next entry into that game. So there is going to be a
Mhm.
sequel into this game for sure, or
It,
more DLC or whatever they decide to do. Like it leaves it open ended.
it definitely felt like it was a test run because we have games like it in the genre. We
Mm-hmm.
have Crypt of the Necro Dancer and stuff, which really truly built this whole genre
Mm-hmm.
of, rhythm-based games. And I think like rhythm-based combat games, I should say, not just like rhythm-based games because we have DDR and shit like that. But this as a combat game including that rhythm aspect, I think like this was a test to see if we can really do it in 3D and do it nicely. And it looked like it did well. So I'm excited to play it next week.
Yeah, I just dropped a link to a trailer for anybody who wants to check it out. That's the official gameplay trailer from the Game Awards last year. Interesting enough, but it is on Game Pass, so if you want to check it out and have Game Pass, it's an easy opportunity, and I highly recommend it. But
Awesome.
Roger, I see that you started a Plague Tale Requiem. What do you think of that so far?
Yes. I really like it actually. I think it's a pretty good game. I have some slight issues with it, but I do like the telling of the story because
Hmm.
I said last week, the game kind of you had that Plague Tale innocence. Your character is that sort of fresh and new to the sort of experience. They're just an innocent child
Yeah.
trying to save their little brother. Well, this game, Requiem means coming to terms with stuff, that sort of crescendo of action, and that's really what's happening here. I don't like the storytelling for Amicia a little bit. I feel like they shoot her character in a hard, sharp right, and you're just like, well, this is the way she was going, but like they kind of made her a lot more drastic and a lot more volatile, and I don't know if I like it, but I do like the gameplay. I think the gameplay is
Hmm.
very smooth, and it's that sort of similar thing that I felt with Scorn, where the resources were a lot more limited. Like there are like, oh, easy kills, like easy ways to get kills, but to actually get the ammo for it,
Hmm.
super hard. Like
Yeah.
you get one arrow in a zone and you have to kill or disarm 7 to 10 people, and you're like, okay, I get one freebie and a knife, and if you use the knife, there's a chance because you actually use knives to get a bonus loot. So if you use the knife to kill somebody, you don't get bonus loot. So there's a
Okay.
lot of like planning your path. Like, do I go full bore and kill everyone, but risk losing a lot of my resources I need, or do I just kind of try to sneak through? And
Hmm.
it rewards you for playing the game a variety of different ways. So I think that's also pretty neat.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Dane, have you checked out a Plague Tale at all? But either Innocence or the new one that just dropped, Requiem. I know you don't play single player that
Yeah,
much.
listening to you guys talk about this stuff, and I've watched some of the old podcast episodes on YouTube, and that's why I was like, man, I got to get into some of these games. Like they sound so fun, and like I feel like I always have this like stereotype or the stigma where I assume that these single player like role player games are like 10, 20 days worth of playing. Like I feel like it's, and then earlier you were just like, oh, it's 6 to 8 hours, like it's a quick, and I was like, dude, I could do that in like one night, like in a one like extended stream almost, like yeah. So I feel like I growing up when I played Call of Duty, I would never play Halo. Like I never played Halo that much. All my friends would bounce back and forth, and I would just stick with Call of Duty because I was like, that's weird to me. Like I'm gonna mess up my controls, and like now learning like it's basically the same darn controls. Like you'd have been fine.
Yeah.
But like yeah, so things like that where I was like I should have explored both, and that's where like now I'm learning too. Like I'm missing out on all these other great games. So like I watched my buddies stream Red Dead Redemption. That's one I've never played either, and I was like that looks
Hmm.
so fun. But like I always just have this idea where I'm like, well, all right, but if I don't play a night of Call of Duty, like I'm gonna be terrible the following night. And
You
when I
sound like
started to
me.
learn that I'm
I
terrible regardless. So I need to just start playing these other games to enjoy it and see what they're like.
Yeah, and I honestly want to piggyback off something you said there. Like I felt like, oh, if I start switching off, like I play Valorant a bunch, and like, oh, if I start playing something else other than Valorant, I'm gonna get worse at Valorant. Well, I started playing Overwatch. I go back to Valorant. I'm like, oh, dropping 20, 30 kills. I'm like, okay, it feels
Yeah.
crisper. Like I feel like even though, yeah, shout out to the cat. Even though I've changed my controls or like things have changed, I feel like I slowed down maybe because I didn't get so in that same game I've been playing. Like Scorn, for example, that was just a 4 to 6 hour playthrough for me.
Yeah.
Like that's a single night of gaming, and I beat a whole single player game,
Hmm.
and it was fun. It was
Yeah,
honestly super
yeah.
fun to play.
I'm definitely missing out on them. That's yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
taking note to some of the ones you guys are saying. I'll definitely hit Vic up and get some of these titles because as I've seen him in the old streams, and I've watched one of the ones I was watching. You guys were talking to a guy, and he was talking about one of the games he was playing through, and I was like, that sounds so interesting. Like I played The Last of Us. That was the last
Oh
like
yeah.
probably game I played where like I
It's
haven't done it. That
very
was like
good.
the last one, and that I felt so like it felt like such a good game, and that like I had taken like a for no reason at all. I kind of just took like a hiatus of playing video games for like a few years. Like I just kind of stopped playing, and then my friend group and I kind of got a little distant while I was like doing some work. And then we all kind of just rekindled one day, and they were like, "Dude, we all have an Xbox. We play like every night. Like, why don't you get one?" And I was like, "All right, I'll play a little bit." And here I am. Like, so that was December of 2018, right after I left my career to start a business. So I was home full time, and they were like, "Get an Xbox," and I was like, "Oh, that sounds like a reasonable, responsible decision." And so yeah, here I am 4 years later, streaming, playing almost every night, and doing stuff. So,
And
but yes, yeah, I enjoy it. But that's I played The Last of Us like during that hiatus, like just like sitting on the couch, no headset, no friends online, and like that was like I had so much fun doing it and playing this new COD campaign, and then also like you guys' podcast, like it's definitely like rekindled some interest there. I'm definitely gonna bang out some of these because yeah, like you said, even like a 6 hour game, I can do that in 2 3 hour nights, and then yeah, that's another title I get to accomplish and kind of learn
and
about, and it's
it's
that's
fun.
yeah,
Yeah, it's all about
That's
balance, and honestly, like
yeah.
I'm how you're how I used to be. I missed out on so many great single player games because all I did was play Call of Duty, Call of Duty,
yep,
Call of Duty, Call of Duty. That's all I played, and I was like, fuck, I missed all these great games, and now I've been going back into my backlog and playing them. Like I just recently beat Mass Effect 1 and 2, and the Batman Arkham Asylum. Like these are all great games from 2008, 2009, 2010, and I missed them because I
Yep.
was too worried about Call of Duty. But you can always revisit them and go back to them, and they still hold up really well. So
yeah,
that's it's
that's I'm
always
excited too.
always about jumping back into them. I'm like, man, I missed out on
And
so much.
and the
Yep,
single player games are great because like that's actually how I got my wife into like liking games and stuff. Like she was just like, "Oh, let's sit down." We played through The Last of Us. We played through Uncharted, and these are just games we could sit down and the story is fun and sometimes the action can be a little annoying, but like it brings everyone together, I feel. The single player games. You don't have to play competitive all the time and it's awesome.
Right.
yeah, that's actually it's perfect that you said that because I was sitting like so when I was playing The Last of Us, I didn't have a headset on. Like I kind of made that mention. I was sitting on the couch, like my wife and her sister, my sister-in-law, like they would sit and just watch me, like kind of doing like the oh, what's that over there, like that kind of thing. And yeah, yeah, what that? Oh, what did you
My
tell me
wife
about? Like, yeah,
she's the shiny finder, like in the games where collectibles they have like a glint sometimes. She's like, shiny, shiny, shiny.
yeah,
I'm like, all
yeah.
right, thanks so
Yeah,
much.
it's super helpful. Then they're like, sorry, sorry. I'm like, no, 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 I didn't see that. I was staring at the thing straight
I'm
forward. I'm like, I'm
shooting the
glad you
sky.
saw
You're
that.
just like, there's a
Yep.
collectible over there. And I was like, oh, you're right, there is. Let's go get
Yep.
that.
I would
Thanks.
have had to circle back in 20 minutes and go all the way back through to get it and then go back through the map otherwise. So yeah, no, I appreciate the heads up.
But speaking of competitive games, how's your Warzone matches been going, Dane?
So lately I feel like I've been doing pretty well. I feel like I've been hitting some shots. I'm a diehard Kilo fan. I do this thing with every Call of Duty where when the first game comes out and I get my first loadout, I do the first gun in each category. Like I just pick that gun and I just grind it out and get used to it. Even if it's a terrible weapon, like I just use the first gun of each category. Well, this year that happened to be the Kilo. And the Kilo was like one of the most dominant weapons from the start of Warzone. And I've been using it like all day, every day. I have it gold. Like it's my
Yeah.
baby. And so lately I feel like they buffed it a little bit. It's like I've been hitting some good shots, and I'll switch out my sub every now and then. But like the MP7 was like the original one I was using. But I recently, because we haven't had as full of a team, I switched to Fortune's Keep finally because
Oh yeah.
I love battle royale. Like I love the long strategic. Like I love looting for 10 or 15 minutes and then killing for 20 minutes and then strategic like getting it in place. Like I like how the game builds up to the end and like the win is just so much more satisfying. But I've realized recently that getting kills is like kind of keeping me interested in the game. So by
Yeah.
playing Fortune's Keep, I've been hitting like I feel like it's just a good bit of shots, and so I think my best Warzone was like 19 kills. I haven't clipped 20 yet, but I had 17 in a Fortune's Keep solo duo the other day, and so like that felt really good. Like I was
Right.
just running around, felt like I wasn't missing. Didn't win, but like yeah, so yeah, I feel like it's been going well, but yeah, so I'm very excited because I have the time and everything to play the new Call of Duty now. Like my kids are a little more independent, like they can go to bed on their own, kind of thing. Like I just put them in there, let them watch a movie, and if they get out, like it's not like the baby anymore because like that really put a damper on them. Like the last
Right.
Warzone release was I had an infant and then another on the way. So now like with they're almost 2.5 and 4, so like I have a little bit more like freedom now to play at night almost every night. So getting into the new Warzone, yeah, I'm really excited. I took off 5 days for the Call of Duty release, so I have off the 28th to the 3rd, and then I also took off because my birthday is the 17th, and Warzone 2 comes out the 16th.
16th,
So
right?
of
Yeah.
course I took off Tuesday through Friday that week. So I basically have a week for each game that I took off.
That's it.
Um, Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for that. So yeah, I'm gonna grind right away to get multiplayer done, get some guns figured out, get some skins, and then be able to hit Warzone 2 right out of the ground, running full speed. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, it's a big time for Call of
So
Duty. But Roger, let's move on to our game releases. What's coming out this week?
yeah, so we got a bunch of different games coming out this week, and the one I'm most excited for, honestly, is going to be Call of Duty.
Hmm.
So we got Modern Warfare 2 that releases officially on October 28th. So if you haven't been in playing the campaign, you can pre-purchase the game now, and you can get in there and play it. It's only on the PS5, Xbox X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The multiplayer and Warzone 2, correct, both drop on the 28th.
Warzone 2
Or
comes
no,
out on the
just
16th.
sorry,
Yep.
the 16th. So it's just going to be the multiplayer for Warfare.
Yep.
So
I believe it's like the Spec Ops missions multiplayer, like out on the 28th, the full game essentially drops, but then
Exactly.
Warzone 2. But back to the original Warzone, they did like a 5 month delay. It was released in October, and then Warzone didn't drop till like March. So we played multiplayer. It was like that 5 months, and it was like, come on, let's get to it. So yeah, this time they gave 2 dates right away, and they're like, here's what we're rolling with.
yeah, and you have less than a month, which is nice.
Yes.
Alrighty. So how about you, Vic? What are you excited for this week? I assume it's the same thing.
Pretty much. I mean, the rest of these games here, like Garbage Pail Kids, Saturnala, Signalis, Star Ocean, Bayonetta, Resident Evil updates, not really excited for any of those. Like Call of Duty Modern
Yeah.
Warfare 2 is just makes these games look like they don't exist, pretty much.
Yeah, we got like for one, if you do like Resident Evil though, Village and the expansion, like the expansion comes out on the same day that Village hits Switch and Mac. So if you play on a Mac, I don't know why, or if you play on the Switch, you can play it for off the streaming library on the 28th of October. You can play Resident Evil Village, and the winter expansion drops for PS5, Xbox X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Stadia,
Which is
and
interesting.
PC.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
yeah,
that
like
changed because that obviously
yeah.
is
So
no
like
longer a service.
yeah, they had it on the list as a release, but it probably got pulled here, I'm hoping.
Right.
But the Resident Evil Village is getting an update, that expansion on the 28th, as well as the ports to other consoles.
Right.
Now, the big release we have in addition is Bayonetta 3. This is a game that we kind of talked about. It's under fire right now because the voice actress was, squaring off against the developer because there's a dispute about pay and all this other stuff. But if you're interested, Bayonetta 3 does drop for the Switch on October 28th.
Shout out my birthday, big day for game releases.
Big day for game releases. Your game comes out on your birthday. Happy birthday. That's your gift from the community.
Right.
I will do my best when I'm downloading it, pre-installing and clicking it at midnight to remember to text you happy birthday. I will do my best.
But the other one that's coming out on the 28th that's interesting though is the Resident Evil Reverse. It's a multiplayer game set in the Resident Evil universe, so that's going to be something that's interesting. I don't know if it's going to catch any ground, especially releasing the same day as Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer.
This is a build off of, I believe, the Resident Evil the third game, I think, came with a multiplayer mode when they released the remake of Resident Evil 3. There was a multiplayer mode where it was one versus many, and it was essentially dude was sitting behind a console and he could choose when to send zombies at you. He could lock doors. It was sort of like a Saw kind of game in the Resident Evil universe, and I believe this is an extension of that.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see if that turns out to be anything of importance. But Dane, any of these other games you're excited for at all? Probably not, I'm assuming.
I've been looking forward to Call of Duty for months. It's on the family calendar. My wife was like, "Does it say Call of Duty on the calendar?" And I was like, "Yeah, I wanted you to know that there's a few days there. I'm probably going to be downstairs early." And I was like, "That's I'll help out during the day." And I was like, "But I'm going to disappear a little early." So, yeah, I mean, other than that, and we were talking about that the other day. This year, it feels like, and I hate that everything comes out in the fall, but like Madden was August, 2K was in September, Call of Duty's in October, and then
PGA just dropped last
PGA
year.
just dropped in October as well. That was the other one. Yeah, it's like all four of them are within like a 3.5 month span. So it's like I'm switching. I feel like that SpongeBob meme where the eyes go both ways. Like I'm trying to play two games at once. But yeah, once March, April hits, I feel like that's where all the games kind of hit a lull, and that'll be like the good time to kind of go back and play some in these different ones. But
Yeah, there's always the ups and downs, and yeah, we're hitting like big strides right now with big game releases. I mean, we just came
Yeah.
off of a
Yeah,
huge week of game releases the past couple of weeks, and now we're just keeping on moving. And the thing is, it doesn't
Yeah.
slow down. January, February, March is going to be insane for game releases. So that November, December time frame is the time to catch up on everything.
Yeah. It feels like
yeah,
during COVID they were like stocking up, and now this is like everything's getting released. Like during the downtime, it feels like we're seeing the effects of that now. Like we're
Yeah.
seeing things in full swing again.
and I think it also has to do with the fact that that's when the game awards are in, early winter here in December. So you have to get your games in before the end of November, or
Right.
you're looking at next year's game awards. So you're over a year away before you can see an award. So I think now's the time to get in your game to really get that shock factor, to put it fresh in people's minds so you win those awards. Like if you release in January, February, like we did with Elden Ring, like it's not fresh in your mind. It feels like last year I played Elden Ring, but it
Right.
was this year.
It was this
Like,
year, and it'll probably win game of the year. Like it's that
you
big.
know. So, all right. Vic, let's talk about some industry news here. So we have some news about G4 Entertainment. Sad, but news nonetheless.
Yeah, this is it sucks honestly because I know a couple guys I listen to their podcasts that were a part of G4 Entertainment, and G4 Entertainment goes back way back, and they brought them back officially, and then Comcast decided to pull the plug again. Basically, there just wasn't enough traction and whatnot. And the sad part about all of this is the employees who work there didn't find out until like the Sunday before that they decided to close up shop. So like a 1 day
We
notice.
found out when they did.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
Everybody found out at the same time that hey, G4 is not gonna be a thing anymore, guys. We're closing up shop, and everyone was like, "Well, damn."
okay, win.
Like that's the
Win
crazy part.
tomorrow.
As an employee, if you see that on Twitter, you got to be like, "Damn, that's crazy. That's definitely a joke." And then you look down at your phone, and you get a text from your boss, and you're like, "Oh shit, it's not a joke."
How did
Not
they
a
know
joke.
before me? Shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Uh,
not cool.
Yeah.
No,
So
it just sucks to see it, but it's like we're in the era of like G4 is that TV show. It's like MTV back in the day. Like who still watches MTV? But
Yeah,
that's
it's
kind of
we
the
have
same
Twitter and TikTok. That's where you're gonna go to find out a breaking news. And says I feel like Reddit.
yeah.
Like yeah, you're not waiting for G4
Yeah,
to publish. It's
and do you really have enough content for a 24-hour,
right,
TV channel essentially to be running all the time?
right.
CNN barely has enough stuff and they do world news.
yeah, you're not lying there. So yeah, G4 probably should take a different approach if they ever want to revisit that idea, but maybe go on different platforms and only stream and come up with different ideas. But they try to basically just revive what they already did before, and it just was not working. They were trying to ride that whole nostalgia factor, and it just there wasn't enough nostalgia there for oh, I'm so excited they're back. Like I watched it
Yeah.
like one
Like
30-minute segment, and that was it since they've been back, and I was like, yeah, I just can't do
and
this.
it's on TV. Like who has a TV plan in this day and age? I'm being honest, like
Mhm.
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
have
I'm waiting.
HGTV.
Once Rob Dyrdek leaves MTV, MTV's gonna shut down too. Because I feel like MTV realistically is just ridiculousness reruns all day long anyway. So like you
They-
made the mention of MTV, like that's
Yeah.
gonna go here soon too.
It's all about the
That's like
streaming
the only
platforms. That's all it is. If,
Yeah.
if you don't have like Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix, whatever,
You watch all your
Discovery,
sports on it now. Like you
Right.
don't even need a cable plan. You just have Hulu. There's your sports.
right? You literally just have one couple streaming platforms. You pick what you actually are going to watch, and you're set.
Yep.
Easy enough. But some more industry news though. Netflix is once again back in the news here, and they're opening up another studio. This will be their fifth studio, and this one's interesting because it's going to be led by Overwatch's executive producer Chaco Sony, who left Blizzard about a year ago, and he left them because he wanted to take time off. But clearly not because he's already back and he joined Netflix. So clearly there was something else behind this motive or decision. But he was just like,
Well,
"No, I'm coming back. New studio, new chance. Let's see how this goes. Maybe it's not as toxic."
well, like let's be honest here. I'm gonna jump articles just to kind of segue a kind of topic. It's he left, but like let's be honest, who wouldn't want to leave Activision Blizzard because they got another sexual harassment lawsuit this week?
Yeah, another one. Adding it to the long list of like shit. That
Why
we gotta deal
wouldn't
with.
you jump ship? Like, I'll be honest here. Like, I would jump ship too because Microsoft isn't successfully buying the company right now. So, like, I don't know if I'm gonna have a job, working at Activision Blizzard essentially. So, it just hopefully. So, what do we think we're gonna see from this Netflix studio though? Like,
At this point, I'm not sure. I mean, like if you're signing on the lead executive producer from Overwatch, does Netflix put out a competitive shooter of some sorts, arena-based
Maybe
shooter? Like maybe like I don't know what they can come up with,
phone
but
shooters are big.
like right now, yeah, exactly. The mobile gaming market with shooters, like it just goes hand in hand. No pun intended there, but it just to me it's a no-brainer here. But executives make other decisions based
I'm
off
a
of.
little confused though that they chose somebody from Overwatch and not like somebody from Diablo Immortal. Like
Mhm.
that shit raked in the bills, like so much money.
Right. So we'll see how that goes. But Roger, what's going on with the Steam Deck? I know we just had the release. Now it's easily readily available. But what else is? And
Yeah,
the dock just
so
came out too. But there's something else too.
yeah, so it turns out the Steam Deck is slowly getting bigger and bigger, and I believe this is a third-party peripheral that somebody made that now you can play Game Boy cartridges on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It just like plugs
Yeah,
into the back, and it like you just slide the Game Boy cartridge into it, and it just boots up, and it just works.
I mean, yeah,
Start
it's
digging
pretty
out
cool.
old.
You yeah, you could pay $50 for it, or you could just do it for free. I like your
You can
the Steam
emulate it.
Deck. Yeah, I'm not telling you to emulate, okay? I'm not trying to get liable here, but you could emulate on it if you wanted to.
Dane, have you ever thought about picking up a mobile gaming device like the Steam Deck or anything?
Not necessarily. I think the last mobile one I played was PSP. That's it. And then played like a few games. Like we got into, I got heavy into Clash of Clans, but then like after I got
Mm,
like really carried away with that, I was like, all right, I gotta be careful with these mobile games because then like I'm on my phone just all day.
yeah.
But yeah, like the my buddy has a Switch and like he just he's on a trip right now. And like he's out. I was trying to say where he was. He's on like a business trip. And I don't know if it was public knowledge, but yeah. So he's on a trip right now, and he took his Switch with him because we were talking about it. And he was like, "Oh, he's like, I got my Switch with me." And I was like, "That's what I need." I was like, "For any time I'm traveling, I was like, I do need some kind of portable gaming device. Like that does sound pretty sweet." But yeah, I've thought about doing the emulating before too to play, but that's yeah, I'm nervous doing it streaming wise because anybody getting mad at it. But yeah, that's yeah. Playing like some Pokemon on an emulator on a computer, I feel like would just be like a ton of fun to be able to hang out and just be able to play through like at your own pace. Like, but yeah,
Right. I mean,
Honestly,
you've seen me play
it's
Xbox on the go. Remember at work I was playing on the
yes, I
computer,
saw your
so
green controller there in the background. That literally reminded me of that. I was gonna
yeah.
see Vic use that controller before at work. I said, "What you doing?" He said, "I'm on break." I said, "All right, fair enough, man. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
fair
yeah, they
Fair
kind of
enough."
cracked down on it now. They're like, you're no
Oh no,
longer.
I for sure. I literally was like, "All right, look." I know IT is gonna have a problem with that, but I don't today. So
Yeah,
like, whatever. Do your
yeah, they
thing. Do your thing while it lasts. Do
yeah
it up.
the issue was I was using company property for personal use, and then I was just like, all right, cool. Well, I'm not using my phone for anything work related. They were like,
Literally.
oh damn.
Yeah. Oh shit. Here's a
Oh
good. Yeah. Now we
damn.
gotta reimburse you for a cell phone.
Yeah. But that's another topic for another day. But Roger, we were just talking about Activision Blizzard, but like, man, they just released like Microsoft dropped some big numbers in regards to this, like the whole acquisition of the purchase, and it reveals that PlayStation has 2 times the amount of users than Xbox does. So PlayStation is sitting at about 151.4 million versus Xbox is 63.7 million users, and
this stat.
they're
Okay,
just
all
using
right, I'm
this
gonna
right now.
stop you.
Yeah, they're just using this
Uh,
stat to basically saying that PlayStation has such a large chunk of the player base compared to Xbox, and this deal isn't going to put PlayStation behind Microsoft.
no. See, this is cherry picking. This is fucking cherry picking from Microsoft, and I hate shit like this because
I mean,
Microsoft doesn't include the numbers of PC users.
yeah,
How many PC players do they have every month? They have twice that many, I bet. Easily. They have probably, I bet, 300 million players on computer.
no, yeah, I
I think
agree.
my thing too is like these numbers. Like there's this ESPN did it one time where it's like they silhouette a player on A and B, and it says this player had this many yards, this many touchdowns, this many whatever, and player B had this many, this many, this way. And you sit there in your head and you're like, oh well, player A is better, player B is better, and it pops up and it's the same player, and they're like first half of the season, second half of the season. So it's all about how numbers can be skewed. And I think you're right. I feel like there's just cherry picking here. Like what number did they pull for PlayStation? What point are they trying to prove? Are they do they count duplicate accounts, or is it easier to create a duplicate account on PlayStation so their numbers are higher? Like they just recently started charging for online access. PlayStation hasn't always done that, so like that could make sense as to why they have more users because they were always a free online access. But yeah, I saw this come out and I was like, I feel like that cannot be right. I was like, I feel like it's got to be way more balanced than that, or slightly more Xbox because of the PC usage. I was like, PlayStation's on an island, and I was like, that just feels like a wrong number to me. But I was like, I feel like, yeah, they're cherry picking something, like they're hiding something to show the light on this big number here, but are ignoring something else. Like it doesn't feel
Yeah.
legitimate.
Like at
Right.
the end of the day, if they buy Activision Blizzard, they own all the PC players. Like there isn't a Sony computer. You play on a Windows computer. Unless you're a degenerate, then you play on Mac, but that's beside the
I will
point.
never.
Like you're on a Windows PC or a Linux PC, but like it, there are so many players on PC. Like if we're
Yeah.
only looking at Xbox purchases, fine, but that's not Microsoft's goal.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I get the whole cherry picking, but I think they're just comparing console to console. Granted, yeah, they own the PC market,
Yeah.
but it's just
So
like
like
they separate they try to separate PC from Xbox. Like Xbox is its own brand. It's just obviously owned by
that's not the
Microsoft.
thing anymore.
Right.
That's not the thing. Like
Yeah.
Windows is literally Xbox.
They're
everything
merged
on your
together,
computer.
yeah.
Like you hit Windows, my computer starts up and the Xbox app starts every time it starts. It's not separate. It is the same
Yeah.
thing now.
I think part of the issue though is that PlayStation loves to flash the numbers like, oh, we outsold Xbox, we outsold this, but they
Mhm.
never include the PC numbers in any of their sales.
Oh, no, no,
statistics.
no.
Never,
And
because they
that's the
know
thing.
that they would never, they're never going to be able to be better than Microsoft if they include PC and Xbox as one.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think this number is a poor taste on Microsoft's side. They're kind of like, see, we're not going to hurt PlayStation. We're only stealing one of the biggest companies in game development ever. We're only like all they have to do is just say, "Yeah, we're just going to break all these PlayStation deals and pay the fines." We don't care. Now we get all the business to COD. Nobody on
Right.
PlayStation will play
Well,
COD. It's
part
they
of
can
that,
they can go back on it. It's that easy.
right?
It's
Well,
just money.
well, the realistic thing, they actually legally can't. That's all part of this investigation. Where like, if they pass this deal through, they have to legally sign this contract saying, all right, we have to stay obligated to these contracts, and if we break them, then we will have to sell off Activision Blizzard.
Okay.
So like that's all going to be protected because they brought up to the fact that Call of Duty will never be on Game Pass for the next 3 years because of that pre-existing contract, and that's no matter what happens in the contract, they have to abide by that no matter what. If
But
they
what happens after 3 years though?
Right,
So like
well, that's all. It's
oh,
brand new ground. It's not covered. It's not
that's the thing.
underneath anything.
That's what's scary because this is one of the biggest shooter. It is the biggest brand name shooter in the world. Call of Duty
Really
is the
flex those
biggest
numbers.
shooter. Period.
Call of
That's
Duty
it.
is the
Full
biggest
stop.
game ever. Like honestly,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
group together every Call of Duty release into just one
The
window,
franchise.
yeah, the
The Call of
franchise
Duty
underneath
franchise.
one would
And-
would
and we're
outsell
only
Minecraft and
talking
all of
about-
those other ones.
Yeah,
GTA
we're
5
only
would not.
talking about one game though too. Now take away Call of Duty, put that whole franchise to the side. Now you have the Warcraft, StarCraft, and all these other franchises that they own.
Mhm.
Now what happens? Those things are also huge. Like
Yeah.
Microsoft honestly could breathe life into the Warcraft franchise and just destroy Sony. Just like
Yeah.
the Microsoft studio will be unstoppable with this purchase.
I mean, honestly, we're
So
not
weird
even
one day.
thinking about
PlayStation what?
right. We're not even thinking about all the dormant IPs that they own, like Guitar Hero, and there's like a long list of IPs that they own that the
They
gaming
own Guitar
industry,
Hero.
right?
I'm-
Activision Blizzard owns so much that people want but aren't given because they're allocating all of their resources to Call of Duty. Call of Duty means so much to Activision Blizzard. They said, "Fuck everything else. We don't need
Yep.
anything else." But Microsoft wants to buy them and to breathe life into these kind of games, and it'd be great for the developers to be able to create something new as opposed to being on that Call of Duty hamster wheel. So
Yeah,
that's how I look at it. It's like it's a positive way of looking at it as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're gonna play it to their advantage and then make it exclusive. But like, yeah, it could, like he said, breathe life into everything, like all the other games attached to it. That they'll have more releases, kind of an all around balanced release. But yeah, it was funny you said Guitar Hero because just the other day my mother-in-law texted me and said, "I'm cleaning out the basement. Do you want this guitar?" I said, yeah. Don't ever throw anything gaming ever away at all. Whatever. I said, if you want to Google
Funny.
prices, I'll buy it. I said, don't ever discard or toss or donate anything gaming related ever. And she was like, my wife was like, well, don't you already have one? I was like, that's not the point. I was like, we collect around here. I was like, yeah, so it's literally under my desk, but it's buried under some other stuff. But yeah, all that kind of stuff. Like, it'll be so exciting to see them bring any of that kind of stuff back and like just do some like retro. Like, I think the other thing too is like the games like Madden and all that. Like, they should just do like an every other year release. I feel like PGA did that. They took 22 off for it was like COVID reasons or whatever, but they released 2021. That was like their first into the PGA world because they took over from the other company. And like I feel like an every other year thing would be like great, or like a subscription base, like just
Yeah,
pay a
there you go.
subscription to the game for the year instead of buying like a separate installment essentially. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean I feel like that's all the future of gaming, that's kind of where we're headed is to like instead of microtransactions, you'll just be like subscription based for certain games like Call of Duty, like the larger ones, instead of charging you the yearly fee, you'll just sign up for your yearly Call of Duty fee, and then like that's it. You just have access to everything.
Right. I
Yeah.
just that's honestly what the community and the consumer is asking for, but until we stop buying those games, that will never happen because I know
Right.
that the fan base will continue to buy that game year after year after year at 60, 70, 80, $100 every single year.
120.
Right. So it doesn't matter. Like that unfortunately will never go away. But I agree. It should just be one game that just gets updated. You pay for some shit throughout the year.
Yeah.
That's fine. You'll be good.
Yep.
But that's not
Brand
gonna happen.
subscription. Sign me up.
But
Give
one
me a
last.
campaign and I can download each campaign just like I do with the Master Chief collections.
Yes. Yep.
Easy.
So we got two more things here with Microsoft. They did lay off 1,800 employees, which is roughly about 1% of their total staff. They're not really sure how many of these were Xbox users, but all companies do a 1% cut usually in regards to staffing. That's typical, especially with Microsoft. Like that's not really a lot, but it's just to see the impact of that. But in regards to Xbox, so the Elite Series 2 controller is now customizable via Xbox Design Labs, and it starts off at 179.99 price tag, so it's not too bad. Same price as the other ones if it wasn't customizable. So it looks pretty cool. But Roger, there's a competitor in regards to controllers.
Yes, so we've got Sony review for the DualSense Edge. So Sony is releasing a new controller. It'll be launching January of next year, and it's a full price of a Switch essentially. It's $200 for the DualSense Edge. Do you have a picture of this controller at all?
Yeah, let me
If
see
you
if
don't,
I can
that's
get it.
no big deal. It's so like this controller is essentially their competitor to the Elite Series 2. Now, mind you, we're talking about, $180 for the Elite Series 2 versus $200 for the DualSense Edge. The controller looks nice. It's just it's supposed to have better performance.
Yeah, it just has the customizable. Like you swap out the thumbsticks and adjust the tightening of them and the triggers. You can make them so like you don't have to press them in as far. It's just like a quick tap. So it's
Oh,
the Xbox Elite Series controller is just more expensive than even their controller, and you cannot customizable. It just comes in white and black.
I absolutely love my Elite. I would never play with anything without it, especially for Call of Duty. The paddles, I feel like, are what makes the difference for me. Is like the paddles and the trigger locks, like not having to pull my triggers the whole way down. Like those two things alone, and then like the taller thumbstick, like all that stuff. Like I feel like it matters. Like I had the Elite Series 1, and then the Series 2 came out. My buddy has one too. And we both talked about how much we love it, and we were so excited for this year because it felt like it was about time for them to release a Series 3. Like the
Yeah.
next controller should be coming out, and I literally was like, they could add like a color wheel to it and charge me 225 and I'd probably pay it. I was like, I just want a new controller. Like they could just tell me it's newer and better. I'm like, I just want a new one. Like I don't want it because I bought two Elite 2s over the time of that frame. Like I had one, did the manufacturer warranty, still broke it, bought another one, did the manufacturer warranty, and then I just bought a brand new one. This one is brand new. I just got it like literally 3 days ago for the new Call of Duty. I was like, I'll get another new one for the new Call of Duty because like 2 months ago they released the Elite Core, which is the series Elite
Two.
Series 2, but without the paddles and without the extra thumbsticks and all the pieces.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Hey, here's the Elite controller," and essentially then it's just the grips on the side. So like, yeah, I saw the thing with the Sony controller, and I was like, I hope that pushes them now to look at making an Elite 3 and like doing something more fancy or whatever, like to make a better controller. I have no problems with this one. I just felt like it was released in like 2019 or 2020, I think. So like it's like 3 years old now. So I was like, come on, let's get something
Yeah.
a little updated here.
Right. Honestly, the only thing it's missing is this middle button here. It's called the share button. The Elite controller doesn't have it, so it's just like I use that button every day, all day long, whenever I'm gaming, and it's really really important. So without
Ah,
that
yeah, I
button,
guess
I
that's
don't
a
have
good
it.
point. I do like the center button to do like the recording clips and stuff, and then I use my phone to go through the apps, like to
Yeah.
like look at clips and do all that. So yeah, I guess that is like a big miss, but yeah, I feel like me for the performance of gaming, like that's what I use it for. And I will switch controllers. My buddy and I both, you'll hear us both like, oh my God, I'm switching controllers to play 2K because I don't need the paddles for 2K.
Right. Right.
but I'm constantly smashing on the left stick, and like that's what causes stick drift. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to use my Elite for 2K.
No, not at
So I
all.
have both controllers sitting here. I have the standard Xbox controller and the Elite, and I'll bounce back and forth depending on what we're playing. Like Fall Guys and everything else, like I just use my regular controller because I'm just like dicking around having fun. But like for Call of Duty, I'm like, all right, I need my fucking paddles attached. Like, yeah, give me my jump and slide and stuff, and the tapping my finger. That's what I need.
Yeah, I'm definitely want to invest it, but I'm waiting until the Series 3 controller comes out, so I'm not even going to waste my time
You
with the
need
Series
both.
2. Not worth it.
All right.
But what else is going on in the Sony world?
So let's talk about not just Sony, but we've got some big news on some games. So we'll go about talking about God of War Ragnarok and then Bayonetta here. So
Hmm.
first, God of War Ragnarok. Turns out the voice actor for Atreus has changed. So they had some creative issues that they had to get a little more creative with changing the voice actor for the son
Well, you know what happened,
of
right?
God of War.
They didn't
No,
change
I
the.
didn't.
So okay, I'll just give everyone a quick rundown. His voice changed. He kind of hit that time of his life where
Yeah,
his balls dropped, and his voice went from being that kid voice, and it started to get deeper. So it didn't sound like what it should sound
yeah,
like as a kid anymore. So they had to make some creative adjustments to make it sound like what it started like in the beginning of production, because it changed drastically by the end of
yeah,
production. So that's what happened. Same
yeah.
actor, didn't change the actor in regards to that.
And then, so, well, they changed, his voice changed, so he
Yeah,
got screwed.
kid is
Kids
juicing.
juicing. Okay. Chat.
Sheesh.
All right. And then last but not least, God of War Ragnarok. Some of the reviewers that we had during the last game were a little critical of the original God of War game. And so Sony decided not to give them a copy to review because they didn't like their tone. So they're like, we're just going to give to people we think are going to give us good reviews, which kind of is what the industry does a lot of times. Yeah, some people will get it, some people won't, but like it's just that's marketing. That's
Yeah.
is bad, but
Yeah, it's just another bad PR move that came into the limelight from PlayStation. That it wasn't in regards to the previous God of War. It was actually over the last year
okay.
of PlayStation releases that reviewers were getting copies of the games and then they would review them poorly because they were bad games. And PlayStation was
Yeah.
like, "No, you can't make our game sound bad." Xbox never limits them. They don't care if they're bad reviews or good reviews. We don't really care. You're going to buy the game. You're going to play the game. Here's this review. So it's nice to have that balance. PlayStation's like, "No, no, no, only good reviews."
Just
So it's
noticed that
like,
the other day when I was getting ready to uninstall Warzone 1. I was thinking about uninstalling the original because I was like, I'm probably not going to play this anymore. And I was like, yeah, I'll probably play again before the new one comes out. Like, I'll play a little BR. But I noticed that it has like 2.3 stars. And it's the largest playing base. Like, no one gives a shit about those ratings. Like, the people that don't like the game can get in there and cry and complain with 1 or 0 stars all they want. I never have been like, I should check the reviews before I buy this Call of Duty. Like, I'm going to buy the shit anyway. Like,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so next up, we also have more discussion on the Bayonetta 3. So turns out Helena Taylor was actually offered $15,000, not 4,000. So we had some people across different gaming communities sort of dig into this. She had asked for a six-figure fee to voice act Bayonetta, but she said they only offered her 4,000, and that was their final offer.
mhm.
Their final offer was actually 15,000.
Which she was right too,
So
because it was apparently like 4,000 a session, and there was only like 4 sessions or something like that. So it equated
exactly.
to about 15, 16,000.
But she cherry picked the information, just like we said about Microsoft.
Yeah.
It's cherry picking your own facts. So she cherry picked the fact and said, I was only offered 4,000. There are only 4 voice sessions, okay? And if you're getting $4,000 to work 6 hours in a single day, is that is that unfair? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, do you know how much an hour that is? That is almost $1,000 an hour you're being paid. Like, is that unfair to say
Yeah.
that's
So just to give my idea, it's just like for regular actors, they get paid millions of dollars, and they're just doing the same amount of work more or less. And but because they like movies are more, they get paid more versus voice acting. Like there's a discrepancy right now versus regular acting and voice acting, and when there shouldn't be,
Mhm.
because the
well,
games and the
and
movies
voice
make the same
acting is
amount
a
of money.
dying industry.
And gaming voice actors, the games themselves make more money than movies do. We already know that.
Mhm.
And like voice actors get paid like nothing, and then regular actors get paid a shit ton. So it's like it's not fair in the acting industry.
It's definitely, I agree with that statement. But then again, like actors are working a lot more. They typically act a lot more. Like they're on set for weeks, maybe months. They're doing multiple days. She was asked for 4 days at
Yeah,
$4,000 a day.
right.
I mean,
She
like,
was just trying to put it into
dude,
perspective because the
that's
franchise makes over $250 million. So
that's fine. But at the same aspect,
I'll make
she's
my voice
only
sound like
working.
that for $4 grand a day. Let's say yeah,
Yeah,
like you
like
said, seven
like
fifty a
if
session,
they're
so
like, we're only
seven
gonna
fifty
pay
an
you
hour.
4 grand, I'd be like, sure, 6 hours, 4 grand, dude. Like that's easy.
right, but you gotta take her argument into effect. Like she went to school and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to
Mhm.
get this talent and master her talent, and then just to turn around and barely get paid for what she does
Like
in that.
you're right, you're right, Vic. I went to college and I spent $100,000 to go to
Yeah,
college for 4 years and I mastered my talent, but I only got paid less than $40,000 for the first 2 years of my profession.
yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, it sucks, but like she's making bank. Like, that's money gun money still. For a person, 4 hours, 4 days, that's less than a week of worth. She's making more money than I make in a month in literally half of a session of work.
But how many games is she actually voicing in a year? Because that
I
means
know.
she's only making 15,000 a year if that's the only game she does.
Oh, come on, get out of here. She
But I'm
does
just
more
saying,
than that.
I'm just saying hypothetically, because she don't really
Yeah.
do a lot of voices, but her voice is so iconic. But why like 15,000 in a year isn't a lot, yeah. But you're putting it in a perspective of 4 sessions for 15,000. Yeah, that's not a lot, but
Hmm.
like in the grand scheme of things, she's only working those 4 sessions an entire year. So it's like you got to find a balance. Like I feel like they lowballed her. The gaming industry believes that there's a problem with the voice acting and how much they get paid.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I have issues with the industry, but the problem is at hand. She was making good money.
Yeah. She just has to do a lot more gaming voices, I guess.
Yeah, well, you just have to have stable employment. It's like she shouldn't be able to live her whole, 2, 3 years off of just 4 hours of work. Like
Yeah.
She
that's
signs some
that's
kind of like
fucking weird.
royalty deal or something like that, then that's a different
Yeah.
story. Then if there's constant downloads or microtransactions and she's got some, percentage of those, then like that could be her long term solution
And
to
and the
it. But
thing is, she's not just a voice actor. She does television, she does film, she's also a theater actor. Like she does other stuff. So like it's not that much work. Don't get me wrong. I think she could have been paid more. That's not an argument I had, but I don't think she deserves six figures. Like
So
that's
100,000 for one game isn't reasonable for a game that's going to make you over 200 million in the
I
grand scheme of things.
mean, I mean,
yeah,
I
I'm
don't
the guy making that
honestly.
game. I can pay somebody else less to do it. I think if
Right.
like
But
I think I would think about that as like a business side.
Yeah, from a business
Like
decision, yeah, it makes more sense to.
yeah, like I'd
I'm
say if I have
sorry,
somebody that can
but
do the same voice for 4 grand or 100 grand, I'm gonna pay the people with 4 grand. Like, here you go, kid, do this
and not
voiceover.
to mention, what about developers? You're just like shitting in a developer's mouth. You're like, she worked 16 hours. She deserves 4 times the pay of any developer who worked for 5 years. They got let. You're saying she deserves more money for 16 hours of work in a single year, in 1 week's worth of work, than a developer for their
No,
5 year. No, okay, that's
no,
what
no,
you just said, though.
no.
That's what you
That's
said.
not what I'm implying. I did not say that. But
That
yes,
you did. See, that's you're not thinking about the whole thing. Like her voice is a this much of the game.
but that makes or
Like yes,
breaks the
it's
game. We know
important.
that. If Nickelodeon All Star Brawls has the original characters for SpongeBob, Patrick, and all them
Yeah,
other characters, I guarantee more people play that game and continue to play that game. Most
I,
people didn't
I
want to play
I'll
that
give you
game
that.
because the voice actors were not there. So that voice acting made or broke that game. And guess what? That game is broken. It's not going to be. It's not going to compete with anything. It's
Yeah,
not going to be played.
but at the end of the day, I think you also need to take into account that other people there is greed in the industry, but I think just focusing on her is not the answer. It's the whole thing in general.
Yeah. So we'll just see how this plays out. But
Yeah.
definitely a lot of work needs to be done for voice acting to make it more
I'm
fair.
just interested to see what the gameplay is like at this point. I
Yeah.
probably
Hopefully it's
won't
a good one.
get it. I still have to beat Bayonetta 2 before I even think about getting this. And it's not like Bayonetta 3 will ever go on sale because it's Nintendo we're talking about here.
Right. Moving on to our gaming news. Out our last segment ran a little long here, but Roger, we had a big event that finally came to fruition. This is something that's been rumored and just speculated on, but we had a Silent Hill event. What was
Yeah,
announced here?
so we had Silent Hill event. We had four new game announced. So I'm gonna rattle off real quick. We had Silent Hill 2 the remake. We've got Silent Hill Downfall. We've got Silent Hill F and Silent Hill Ascension. So Silent Hill 2 is going to be a PS5 and Steam remake. It's developed by Bloober Team and the original team Silent Art like the original team with the artist Mashio Ito and the composer Akira Yamaoka. So this is going to be with the original team's direction. It's going to be a lot crisper, clearer. The game is being remade from the ground up. Then we've got Silent Hill Downfall, which is a spin-off developed by No Code Studios and published by Annapurna. Then we have Silent Hill F, which is a spin-off as well, set in 1960 Japan. So this will be different from the rest of the Silent Hill genre, which is kind of based in modern sort of 90s, early 2000s.
Hmm.
This is going to be based in the 1960s Japan, and it's going to be narrative driven. It's written by acclaimed Japanese writer Ryushiki. And then he's known for Higurashi and Umineko. So I have a lot of friends out there who probably not watching the podcast, but these are big games. Like these are big written things. Higurashi, When They Cry, is one of the darkest manga and animes and visual novels that you can read.
Hmm.
And Umineko is also pretty dark as well. So this is coming from some really good talent, some really fucked up talent.
Yeah.
And then the last one is Silent Hill Ascension. It's going to be an immersive project where participants around the world will control the characters in a new Silent Hill story. Basically, a Let's Play Pokemon version where we had, the community work together to play this. And it'll be live on multiple platforms. So you'll kind of vote what happens to the player.
Right. I remember when
This
they did
is
the
a
Pokemon one. That was interesting. It
Yeah,
was
we
it
had
was like
we
they were
had
trying to
ah,
navigate a
ah,
room going
ah,
up,
ah,
up.
ah, 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 ah. It took them 4 hours or whatever to get out of a single room where everyone's like up, down, up, down, up, down. They're just like walking in a circle. Now, this is a collaboration between Genvid Entertainment, Bad Robot Games, and Behavior Interactive, and DJ2 Entertainment. So
Hmm.
a really big collaborative project. So
I'm curious.
I'm excited to play Silent Hill 2 remake, but like also these other things seem pretty interesting. Silent Hill F for me seems pretty cool. It's from a visual novel developer, but it's not a visual novel, I don't think. So,
Yeah, we didn't get much in regards to that one, but we'll see how that plays out. But Silent Hill's
yeah.
back, man. It's officially here. That we've been kind of covering the whole leaks and rumors, and oh, this game has been rated here, and
Oh, we talked about it last year too. We were
right,
like, "Oh, Silent Hill's around the corner, we bet."
right, and now here it is. Dane, were you a Silent Hill fan back in the day on the PlayStation 2?
No, yeah, that's one that I did. I saw my friends playing it. And that was one where I was like, even if I did play, I was like, I don't know if that's one I would get into. But yeah, I did. I saw that it's making like a revival. Like they have a lot of new updates coming out. But I said, even the buddies that I had that played it, I don't know that they're gonna pick it back up just because, like I said, all the other games we play now and the time it takes. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they play.
It's your entrance into single player games. Come on.
Yeah, that's
And it's
true.
called
That's
Silent
true. I
Hill.
don't know. The ones you guys were talking about earlier were pretty interesting. I got a list. I got a
Yeah.
good list to get started here.
But there's also one more thing coming from Silent Hill. It's a Return to Silent Hill. It's a movie being directed by the original person who did the last three movies, and this one here, it's we'll have some more information in regards to it. So they're trying to keep this one under wraps as much as possible, so no story leaks. But
So Vic, we had Minecraft Live as well. Tell us about Minecraft Live. So we've got a huge span of updates.
yeah, man, they got obviously they got their three games. You got Minecraft Legends, which is their new upcoming game that is set to release in spring of 2023. So that's generally
It
right around
looks
the corner.
fire.
Looks pretty cool. We did get to
Yeah.
see the opening cinematic and also the first gameplay of it, which it looks pretty solid to me. I'm curious because I played a little bit of Minecraft Dungeons, which their new Fuana Fairy DLC and Treetop Tangle mission is coming out here soon. And I played Dungeons a little bit here and there, and that was fun. That was just a different take on the whole Minecraft idea. And then in regards to the original Minecraft, update 1.20 is coming out. You get seven new default skins, new blocks such as hanging signs, bamboo wood set. So now the bamboo that you can harvest can turn it into wood, and it's like a lighter color. and then working bookshelves, which honestly look pretty cool. People were already doing like redstone contraptions, so if you like take off the book off the shelf, it would like open up a door, like those whole like hidden door tricks.
You mean
And
like the one we had at the
yes,
pub in England? Yeah.
yes, yes. And last but not least, there's new mobs. First off, you get a camel, and 2 people can ride this. That's pretty cool. I'm surprised it took this long to even add that into the game. But last but not least, the fan voted mob called the Sniffer. Interesting name there. It digs its head into the ground and can bring up brand new seeds to create flowers that have never been seen before in Minecraft. So that'll be interesting to to interact with and see how that goes. Hopefully, it's not too weird looking. The name is pretty rough. But Roger, EA was in the news a little bit here this week. They had
Yeah,
two
so
announcements.
EA decided they're going to be closing down a bunch of their old servers. So we're going to see the end of Mirror's Edge, Onrush, NBA Jam on Fire Edition, Gatling Gears, Shank 2, Mercenaries 2, which I'm surprised still even exists. Like, holy crap, they still have online servers for this.
Yeah.
They have Command and Conquer Red Alert 3, Command and Conquer 3 Tiberian Wars, Kane's Wrath, Army of Two. I don't know how that still has online servers, but it did. Both online or both servers for Army of Two, the 40th Day, and the Devil's Cartel. So we're going to see a lot of these shut down here in the next year. We're going to
Mhm.
see Mirror's Edge is in January, Onrush in January, NBA in January, and Gatling Gears and Shank 2, all of which will be ending 1/19/2023. Then we'll see the end of Mercenaries 2, Command and Conquer, both of them, Kane's Wrath. Those will go down on the 9th of November this year. And then this week,
Last week.
no, already went down last week. I'm losing track of days. On the 20th, we saw the end of the Army 2 servers. So
Damn.
a little
They,
interesting, but we had a cooler story. Sims, their next project is announced. It is called Project Renee. It's in early development. It looks like it's going to be more like a house planning game.
yeah. Sims is always one of those games that anybody and everybody plays, so that'll be interesting to check out. But Dane, did you ever play NBA Jam? Um,
I literally, I was, that's funny you say that. I was gonna say that. I brought it up because I wanted to see it real quick, and I just, as soon as I saw the massive heads on the characters, I was like, that's exactly what I thought that game
yeah.
was. I was sad to see that that's on there as closing online. I'm gonna have to sneak in a couple games before January, because that, yeah, that was a classic one. That and like NFL and 2K Street, that was like the most fun. Like the wall running, like for
Yeah.
the touchdown, like that shit was so fun. I wish that like Madden would implement that stuff now. Like just like a little side mode, like
Yeah.
arcade mode, like Warzone does with Plunder. Like just these little like fun kind of like dick around games. Like that would be a really
Right.
good one for
Well,
that. To be able to play like.
Madden kind of did it with the yard. Like that was a prime opportunity to implement the
Oh
whole
yeah, I guess I guess
NFL
you're right. Yeah,
street characteristics to it. Like that would have been perfect.
yeah.
But NBA Street,
Yeah,
man, I would
that's a good
love to
point.
see it.
But yeah,
NBA
NBA
Street.
Jam on Fire, that's a classic. That's as soon as I brought it up, I saw Steve Nash's huge head, and I was like, "That's right, I remember that game."
On this list, Mr. Mercenary 2 is kind of the one that upsets me. It was actually one of my first Xbox games that I got all of the achievements on, and that game was just a lot of fun. Reminded me a lot of like a GTA Online kind of thing, but you're a mercenary, so you're just going around just blowing shit up more or less. It was just a
Yep.
lot of fun.
And it had cool destruction too. Like it was just a fun game.
I thought it was ahead of its time. Like I would love to see a new
It really
Mercenaries
was.
game, but I doubt it. Army of Two was a fun co-op game though. I remember. I don't think I played Devil's Cartel, but I do remember playing the Army of Two and then Army of Two: The 40th Day. Those were
Yeah.
fun co-op games that we checked out back on the
It was
360.
really cool to just, kind of the whole game. It was one of those first games where like two-player was mandatory, whether you played with a friend or the computer.
Hmm.
It was you and another entity fighting through the whole thing. So the game was meant to be co-op,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. It was honestly before its time because with like Halo, for example, it could be co-op, but it wasn't meant to be. Like,
It
yeah,
didn't make
some of the
sense to be
like
co-op,
there was
but
one cutscene in Halo, the original Halo, where it was actually, two people get out of the cryo tubes, two Master Chiefs. That's the only reference to two players. And then it didn't take until Halo 3 that you had Master Chief and the Arbiter, right? It
yeah,
was Halo 3? Yeah.
yeah. I think he played as Arbiter like in an individual mission in Halo 2. but like Master
Yeah.
Chief wasn't there.
No, you played with him, I think, 2 missions, but it was after you both get grabbed up by the flood the big brain of the flood, and he's like, "You work together," and
Yeah,
like throws you away, and you're like, "Okay,
sure, why not? But
if you tell me, sir."
yeah,
And
um,
yeah, players 3 and 4 were also elites with actual names. One of them was the admiral for the fleet, I believe, and another one was also pretty important elite. But it was Master Chief and 3 elites running around killing stuff.
such a odd time. But we
All
got
right.
some news in regards to Pokemon, man.
Yeah, so one of the craziest things got announced this week, and I know Spooky Crew, who's been playing on his live stream for Pokemon, the new Scarlet and Violet. You're no longer forced to fight trainers. You don't have to fight anyone if you don't want to anymore. Consent is king, I'm saying. That's all it is. You have to consent to Pokemon battles now, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that. Back in my day,
Back in my
if
day.
you were within sight's range, you got that little exclamation point, and you were done for. That was it. So
I
Yeah,
remember back in
now
the
you
day,
don't
like
have to.
you're trying to go like one step at a time. Like, can I please dodge this fight, please? And you take one step, you're
And
like,
the guy's just
fuck.
like, you're like, all right, I guess we're fighting now.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting in regards to Pokemon. But another game I know that you guys play a lot, well, at least the franchise itself, is Warhammer 40K. And this one kind of came
Oh,
out of nowhere and blindsided people.
yeah,
40K
so
Regicide, it was removed and shut down without warning. Did you guys play this game at all?
no, it was a mobile game too, weirdly enough, and it was like an unpopular Warhammer chess style game, and like it just no notice. They were just like, we're done.
Yeah, that was a bit odd. Especially with all the new Warhammer games are coming out too. Like you just wouldn't think there would be enough hype behind all of the games to keep the people around and whatnot. But Cyberpunk also celebrated a big week, or I should say, a big couple of weeks. They have 1 million daily active users for 4 straight weeks. That is phenomenal. Like the
Yo,
redemption arc is real.
did you see the meme they posted? That shit was fire.
Yeah.
He's just like,
Hey.
and I was like, yeah, that's my feeling too, dude. Honestly, the anime was fire. Have you even started it yet? Because like
Mm,
it legit, I was like, oh man, I gotta play Cyberpunk again.
right.
But like I don't want to, but I do for
Right.
some reason.
I
It
told
was
you
so
last
good.
week I'm waiting until Phantom Liberty drops and then
Same.
I'm back. But Dane, did you check out Cyberpunk at all? I mean, this is a first-person shooter. I know it's not multiplayer, but
yeah, no, that was one where that was again. That was another one where you guys were talking about. You and I were talking about that. That's what you were playing in Office. That's what
yeah,
you were playing there. I
yeah,
think
I
that's. I'm
checked that
pretty
out.
sure that's what you were playing at that point. Like you had brought it up, and I was like, I walked by, I kind of glanced, and I was like, okay, cool. And I walked back by, and then that's when I started asking questions. I was like, well, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Like, started getting involved. That's. I was like, damn, these do look fun now. Like the
Yeah,
games are way different than they used to be, and like even if it is a game like you said that's like primarily solo, like I used to just ignore it right away. And I think it also for me it came down to like my available time. Like I only had 1 or 2 nights a week for a couple
hmm,
hours I could play. So it was like I'm not gonna spend that time playing by myself when I could play by my friends. But
hmm,
now that I'm
Exactly.
playing every night and there's nights where like one friend is busy, one's fell asleep early and that kind of stuff, like I could just go and do my own stuff and then like do whatever. Um but yeah, so that's not one that I've checked out yet, but I definitely am interested in doing so.
yeah. Cyberpunk you could probably beat in say 20 hours or less, honestly. And honestly, it could be a good game
Really?
to even stream because like if you have a good people amount of showing up, like you can include their decisions into the decisions that you want to make in the game as well.
Nice.
Like depending on the choices you can make, whether you want to save people, not save people, do a task, not do a task, or even like the dialogue options. Like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
relationships you can build with people. Like there was one Pan Am. I wanted to make sure she was my girlfriend in the game. She was sexy as fuck in the game. Like I was just craving over her. But I was like, I need to make sure she's my girl. So I need to make sure I make all the right decisions here, guys.
Yeah, right. Isn't there a game that isn't it that game called Stray? Isn't that essentially like the cat from the world of Cyberpunk? If I'm
Mm,
It's not from the same world, but it is like it's
yeah.
like it. It's pretty cool. Stray is also another really fun single player game, and it has that same sort of post-apocalyptic sort of like neo future.
got it,
It's
got it.
but it looks, it does look the same though. It's pretty
That's
cool.
what I think I heard. Somebody might have just been like comparing them in an article, and I saw it. But then I was looking up Stray because somebody was in my stream one day and was like, "You should play Stray," and I looked it up, and I was like, "The cat game?" And then I started looking at it, and I was like, "Oh, this actually looks dope." I was like, "This
Yeah.
is like really entertaining. Like it's like
I
super
literally-
immersive, but like
it's
you're a cat. Like
it's
that's
super
fucking
fun.
cool."
I walked around holding the meowing button the whole time, and I just walked around everywhere. And I was like, either I or my wife is gonna get tired of this.
Well, one of us is gonna get sick of this.
I just walked up to people, meow, 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 meow.
Yeah.
Like, man,
That
No,
was
this
yeah,
is
awesome.
like a
basically like cyber, like the setting is a cyberpunk world, so it's like that future neon lit kind of thing. So anything that
Right.
looks like that is going to be described as the cyberpunk like world.
Cyberpunk, yeah, the
Yeah.
genre of.
Yeah, it just so happens the game was named Cyberpunk 2077, which is based off of a
tabletop RPG.
tabletop RPG. But Roger, there's a couple games that got some announcements, I guess per se. What's up with
Yeah.
Callisto Protocol?
So first, we'll just do real quick. Callisto Protocol has gone gold, so the game is finally done and it's ready to be minted onto discs. Well, they already started minting it onto discs,
Yeah.
so it's just right around the corner. If you guys are excited for Callisto Protocol, that Dead Space style game with even gorier mutilations
Yeah.
and fun single play story with lots of guns, I'm looking at somebody in chat here.
Yeah.
It's definitely it looks good. I'm hoping it doesn't flop.
Yeah, that's a big day for gaming too, because that comes out
yeah.
on December 2nd of this year. Dane, are you excited for this kind of game at all? Did you play Dead Space back in the day at all?
Not play Dead Space. That's another one. That's another one that my buddies played that I did not. That's it. Add it to the list.
Yeah, I didn't get to the
Like,
list.
I know
let's
it's
just start
completely
here.
different, but just the word dead reminded me of Left 4 Dead, which was another one that I did play that was a little more story mode based. That Left 4 Dead was so fun. I loved Left 4 Dead. That one I do remember, and I remember playing that. That was
Did
like one where like, yeah, we devoted a good bit of time to that one.
Did you play Back for Blood at least though?
Is that the remake of the Left 4 Dead? Is that like the part
Well,
two?
it's by the people who made Left 4
Right.
Dead.
I did not play that
they
one.
don't own the IP anymore, so they were just like, we'll make Back for Blood and we'll add the 4 in the center so that you know.
So that people like me were like, that's the same game. It's cool. That's the sequel. So yeah, no, yeah, I have not, but that's another one that we will jot down on the list for me to play. I'm gonna probably have to do like a single player Saturday streams or something like that, where just every week I have like a devoted day to start like tackling some of these games and get rid of them.
Definitely. All right, so talking about single player games, Digimon has multiple new games coming out built in the Digimon world. The first being Digimon World Next Order. This will be coming to Switch and Steam, and this will be February 22nd of 2023.
Yeah.
So we've just saw the last Digimon Survive, which was last month?
Yeah, something like that.
No, I think it was before that. It was 3 months ago. Holy shit.
July, yeah, end of July,
Yeah.
which I did not.
And this
do
game
so
got
well.
a 9 out of 10 too, just so we're all on the same page. Like this shit's actually like a good Digimon game. So we might actually see the revival of the Digimon franchise in video games here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know me and you used to play Digimon World 4 all the time. That's when you
It was
controlled
fire,
like
dude.
we used to like you could actually control the Digimon. You run around the world with like the swords.
And you
shit.
evolved, like
Yeah.
Digivolved and shit. It was fun.
Dane, were you more of a Digimon fan or a Pokemon fan growing up?
I was just gonna say I was looking it up as you guys were talking about it, but I was a diehard Pokemon fan. That was another one where I was like, I can't look at anything Digimon because I don't know less about Pokemon. I have to be devoted.
I wish Digimon was bigger than it was. Like it was big, but it just didn't catch on in our audiences as much as it did in Japan. And I felt bad because it was such a good was a good game.
I
It
remember
had really
watching it
good
a little
rules.
bit like as a kid, but like because I lived with my grandmother like when I was a child, like so she just put on whatever, and like I remember watching it sometimes, but like every time I was watching it, I was like, all right, when does Pokemon start? Like it was just like when is the actual show that I want to watch? Come on, like yeah, so yeah,
This
it was never one that I
was
dove
box
into.
box fodder.
Yeah, Digimon though is it's exciting though to see a new Digimon World game on its
Yeah,
way.
no, yeah, it looks pretty cool from the
Yeah.
pictures. I see like kind of like the user interface and everything looks pretty sweet.
Yeah. And the fact that
Alright,
it's right around the
and
corner too, like a February release, like the first time we hear about it, it's coming out in 4 months.
Yeah, it's like so close of a release. And this is also this is the sequel to Digimon Next Order, which came out for the PS4.
Interesting.
Like I guess this is supposed
Actually,
to be a sequel to that, which Looked like it did okay.
No, I had Digimon
Do you have
Story.
this game?
No, I have Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Is the Digimon game that
That
I
one
have.
was really bad. Like
Yeah.
the game played itself and it felt real bad.
Yeah, I was like, nah, don't want to play it. I played it for like an hour and was like, I can't do this.
Yeah. Now, Vic, talking about games on mobile consoles, we've got a new Mortal Kombat. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we got Mortal Kombat Onslaught. It's a new mobile game coming to 2023, and it is a strategic team-based collection RPG. Whatever that means, it just sounds like they're
It
trying to
means
get into
money,
the yeah,
gun.
they're trying to get into the mobile market, and Mortal Kombat is just going to ride the nostalgia factor with it. So here we are. But it's like not a fighting game. Like I don't, it's strategic team-based game. So we'll see if it's like Rainbow Six, I guess, just with the characters from Mortal Kombat. We didn't really get much details in regards to
It's
this.
like a collection RPG, so I don't think it's gonna be like Rainbow Six. It's gonna be like Raid's Legend or whatever that game is that I
Oh
keep
yeah,
seeing on every fucking commercial ever by anyone in any stream.
I'm
yeah,
sick of rolling through reels, and I get that one where it's like, "You've now dominated Ohio, and you want to move to Pennsylvania." Like, and it shows like the war map, but
yeah,
it's got the arrows going right and left to Ohio and Iowa, whatever the fuck is west of that. Like, I just was like, "Stop showing me this! Like, I don't want to play it."
yeah, yeah. So that'll be interesting. But another game that just recently released was Gotham Knights, and the fact I think we kind of touched on it was the fact that it got locked at a 30 FPS, which kind of hindered a lot of the reviews because like this game was supposed to be next gen only, so they purposely went in and said, hey, we're not making Xbox One version, we're not making a PS4 version, next gen
But
only,
it's still gonna be 30 frames per
but it's
second.
30 FPS. Like we were just like, this isn't a next gen game. Like next gen supports 4K, 120 hertz per second, and now you're giving us 30. What the hell
Yeah,
happened here?
honestly, a lot of people were. I had some like tinfoil hat theories I saw on Reddit. People were like, "Is this a mobile game? Because it feels like it." And like they were going through and they were just like showing stuff and like the UI and the upgrades. It all feels like you're playing a fucking mobile game, dude. It's nuts.
Yeah, and we were talking about it before the stream, and I just think that this is a game that I think we should check out, just not at the $70 price tag. This is not a $70 game that people should be wasting their money on. This is a game that you should just
How could you charge? Yeah, it's just.
wait until it goes on that Black Friday special for $20 and go snag it then.
7.99.
And
Yeah,
it's locked FPS on your on the PC.
I don't get
It's
it.
I, what? Like,
What the fuck
it's
happened?
PC. How are you doing this?
Yeah, so
I
let's move on to a game that has been doing really well and it's starting to get its the updates with content, man. Disney Dreamlight Adventure. I know right behind you, she's gonna be like,
I'm literally I'm just gonna address her real quick. Hey, Disney Dreamlight Adventure. The next patch is announced. It's Scar. So you get to go to Scar's Kingdom. So you go into that version of Lion King where Scar was in control.
yeah, looks pretty cool.
I hear already typing.
Yeah, just I'm so excited. Yeah, I actually put the game
Uh,
down. I haven't played in a while, and I do want to hop back into it because it's always a lot of fun. And Lion King is arguably one of my favorites, if not the favorite Disney movie. So,
mhm.
and Scar is just an underdeveloped. Almost feel like he's so underdeveloped. Like he could have his own movie.
And Scar's Kingdom, I believe the only character you're gonna get is Scar. And it's actually now available. It's not coming out, it's already out. So if you want to play Disney Dreamlight, you can actually start playing Scar's Kingdom now. It adds the new Sunlit Plateau biome where you'll unlock Scar's Kingdom.
Yeah, Dane, have you checked this game out at all? This will be a fun game even for the kids to check out, or even
Yeah,
your
so
wife.
I was literally just thinking about that. I was gonna give a little shout out to Jungle Book because my favorite Disney movie ever. The Bare Necessity, like that. That's all I love. I just love it. It's so
Yeah,
great. But yeah, I was looking it up because also the fun fact: Scar's real name is not Scar. If you ever knew that, I learned that recently. It's Taka, Taka. Like Scar was
oh,
the
okay.
nickname with like the eye scratch. Yeah, somebody said that to me recently, and I was like, no, his name is Scar. And I sat and thought about it, and I was like, oh, duh, why would they name him Scar previous to knowing that he's got a scar on his face? I was like, I guess that makes sense. But no, yeah, this is another one I looked up as you were talking about it, and I was like, that sounds pretty sweet to go to play in like a Lion King kingdom. Like that sounds pretty dope.
Yeah, it's
Like
just
if
like
your wife isn't a gamer, this is a way to, to
Yeah,
bridge
yeah,
that gap.
yeah, my girl does
yeah.
not play games at all, and I had her hooked. She was like, "All right, we're playing this, we're playing that," and like eventually got so bad, like I was like, "I can't even play my Xbox." I was like, "Honey, can you buy it on the Switch?"
Yeah, like
So
yeah,
now you can play it anywhere.
yeah.
So
She got
now
her
I
own
was like,
setup back there.
she could take it to
I was
work and play my Switch
no,
at work.
she wanted to play on the console in front of me and not on this. And I'm like, we're sitting here, 11 o'clock rolls around, and she's just like, I'm like, Jordan, we got to go to bed. And she's like,
No,
no, we don't.
got to do more.
I got to play Disney Dreamlight. It's like,
Yeah.
no, we got to go to bed. I got to
My
work
sister
tomorrow.
wanted to learn how to play Warzone recently, and she came down. She was like, because she's like essentially getting ready to work like a remote job, and so she was like, I feel like I'm gonna be home more. Like I need like a hobby while I'm at home. And I was like, well, you can't do Warzone during the day, but like it's a good idea to learn how to play. And then one night she came over and she was talking to her boyfriend. She was like, yeah, I'm gonna be here for like an hour. Like I'll call you when I leave. She started at 8. It was like 11:30, and she looked at. She was like, "There's no way it's 11:30 now." It's like,
Yeah.
dude, time flies when you're
Yeah.
playing games. I was like,
Yeah.
it does. It's not like going to work or anything like that. I said you will pass 4 or 6 hours and not realize it.
Yeah.
I was like, you'll look up and go, "No way." Yeah, especially in
was-
the
it
room
was-
that we play in. I have no windows in this room. I'm in a bedroom in my basement, so there's no windows. So this is like a Vegas casino where like you just don't know what it is outside. Like I leave and I'm like, oh shit, daylight. Like, yeah, it's rough, but yeah, you lose a lot of time playing.
Yeah, for sure. I remember doing
Yeah.
that with zombies when we play Call of Duty Zombies. You're on there, like,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll play a couple
Oh,
rounds.
yeah.
You end up around like 67, and you're like,
Yep.
all right, I think I'm about to go to bed. Oh shit, it's 5 a.m. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Well, see, the thing was, is you'd make it to like level 50, knowing that your last record was like 57 or 58 or whatever, and then so you immediately are just like, everyone to go again, and everyone's like, yes. You click play again, and then there's another 45 minutes getting
Yeah.
back to level 50, and like that's the thing with Warzone is we're like one more game, and it's like that could be a 55-minute one more game. Like you could be
Yeah.
playing for a whole another hour for one game if you end up winning. Like, and if we win, we have a mandatory rule where you have to play one more. So like it could turn into 2 more 45-minute games, and like that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like last night we were up till 12:30 playing it, and she's like, "One more game," and I was like, "Okay, I guess." I'm exhausted. Talking about Overwatch though, McDonald's has a collaboration with Overwatch 2 right now, where if you buy one of their meals, you get a code for the Lightning Tracer skin. It's not a new one. And it doesn't look like a McDonald's skin. It's not really a great collaboration. And if you own it, go fuck yourself. Because
Yeah, 'cause you already
this
got
skin
it.
has been out for a while. You just get a code to get a skin that's been out.
Yeah, that's so terrible. But there's also something else terrible in regards to Overwatch as well.
They're still selling physical copies of Overwatch 1, even though the game is not playable. People still have, like, I saw it on Reddit today. They're still selling, like, $40 copies of Overwatch
my
1
God.
in Target. And you're like, I really
I mean, I
hope
see.
this person-
If you ever walk into a GameStop, you still see like Madden 15 on sale pre-owned for $41.99, and it's like the new game is $60. Like, why would anybody in their right mind spend $40? Like, it's not like retro or nostalgic for like some random year. Like, I have never understood how they come up with the pricing for some of that stuff.
It's game songs. They don't know what they're doing. And then lastly here, we've got Valorant talking about the arena shooter games. Patch 5.08 with the arrival of Harbor hit this week. So on Tuesday, Harbor has officially joined the Overwatch roster. And that's all I got for that.
Yeah. Yeah, not
Vic, tell us about Call of Duty.
Yeah, so just gonna run through here because I know we're running a little bit late here on our show, but just a little bit of give a guidance or like a game plan for Call of Duty. It's we already covered the whole. It's not coming to Game Pass, but Modern Warfare 2's preseason starts on the 28th, runs until November 15th, and then Season 1 starts on November 16th when Warzone 2 launches. This is also when DMZ launches. This is their new like Escape from Tarkov competitor game also releases on that day, and a new battle pass system that's going to be implemented. So we're not really sure how that's going to play out, but apparently it's a little bit different than the 1 to 100 and just the simple unlocks. But it also comes with 2 free functional weapons, so there'll be 2 new platforms that's coming out because at launch there's already going to be 51 weapons through 33 platforms ready to launch, and you're getting 2 within the first 2 weeks. Also, Season 1 Reloaded, which is the halfway point in between Season 1 and 2, is on December 14th, and this is when raids will be introduced. This will be a 3-person like puzzle-solving game similar to like how Destiny worked, just not on that grand scale of 8 players. It'll be scaled down to 3. But there will also be new multiplayer maps. One of them will be legendary, so it'll be a familiar map, whether it's Nuketown or whatever they decided to bring back to us. And also, Warzone 2 will get its first post-launch update. At launch, there will be 12 modes, like TDM, Domination, all of that, and you'll have your typical 1 to 55 levels to get through. And prestiging is going to be the seasonal prestiges that reset after each season, so it's not the classic prestige system that we were all hoping for. We did get some details in regards to Spec Ops when it releases on the 28th with the game release, coming with three missions. There's going to be bad situation, a vehicle escape, and an observatory defense. And Spec Ops is strictly two players, which I'm really excited to get back into Spec Ops. It was a lot of fun. For Spec Ops, there
I
are
was
three classes. Go
I
ahead.
was actually thinking about Spec Ops today when I was playing because like I was shooting the guys with heavy armor and I was like, this feels like Spec Ops. This feels like those modes where the dudes with the big heavy M240s come in and
Yeah,
they're just like
the Juggernauts. The
Juggernauts. Yeah, we were
yeah.
just talking about that when we were playing the campaign. My buddy and I played all the Spec Ops from Modern Warfare together. Like we played those 6 missions or whatever that came out from the start, and there was the one that just felt like it's impossible to do like on the hard difficulty because they had like it was just like 10 Juggernauts and you were out there with like a fucking AK-47 and a flashbang. It's like the fuck am I supposed to
With
do
no
here?
armor.
Like please roll over and die. Like there's yeah, it was just it took like 20 attempts to like get everything just right to get past that point.
Right.
definitely.
But yeah, there are three classes to choose from when you're playing Spec Ops. You have the Assault, the Medic, and the Engineer, which is just the typical classes. And that's it in regards to Call of Duty. But we did get an update for Halo Infinite, which is obviously a Call of Duty competitor, I guess, in the realm of FPS. This is their winter update
Competitor.
arriving
I
on.
was just
Yeah, competitor.
competitor, competitor. Like RC Cola is the Coke. It's a
Yeah, it's a
competitor.
competitor.
Yeah.
But the winter update arrives on November 8th, so just about a week before Warzone 2 drops. This is when we get campaign co-op, which is strictly multi online only, no local co-op, which sucks. But
With the rubber banding distances
yeah,
and
that's so stupid. Multiplayer content, which they rebuilt the XP system, so now it's separate. Like the XP both went into your player level and your battle pass at the same time, which made it really clunky and weird. So now they have two separate systems. Forge is finally coming. It's going to be in its preview status, so it's still a work in progress. And a new 30 tier battle pass, so it's a shortened version just to get you through this reloaded winter update until season 2 drops. I guess I don't even know what season they're on because Halo just flopped tremendously for multiplayer in its post campaign
and
content.
people actually brought it back up on Reddit this week and they're like, why is 343 still here? What are we doing?
Yeah,
Someone
Like
who is
Call of Duty.
completely ignorant to all Halo things. All I know is Master Chief. All I know is that I'm upset that the TV show revealed his face.
yes,
Why?
thank you.
Why did we do that? Like I saw that and everyone was
Can
up in
it-
arms about it, and I was like, they revealed his face. I was like, I feel like that's the ending of it. Like it's over now. Like
Yeah.
what do they? Where do they go from
Why
there?
is- I remember rumors are like, if you beat this game with all skulls on and legendary, you get to
Yes.
see it, and you're like,
No, you don't.
And then you did it, and you didn't get to
Son
see
of
it.
a
And like, yeah, that was part of the
son of a-
mysteriousness of it. Yep,
Yeah.
I saw that the other day. With one of my buddies was talking about it. And he said they revealed the face in the show, and I was like, isn't that like the whole point of the thing? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh,
Well,
that
that's why
sucks.
it's separate. It whatever happens in the TV show isn't part of the same universe.
it's non-canonical. It's
Yeah,
just
Right.
so it's a waste of
thing that
people's
exists.
time. Like,
Yeah.
It's
that's honestly
Halo the
way I look at it.
multiverse.
Yeah, so stupid. But moving on here, in regards to Xbox, they had some news this week. The new store is what they're trying to create. It's supposed to compete with both Apple and Google Store on the mobile device. So they want to have their own standalone store that you can buy and download apps from on their devices. So we'll see how that all plays out. But October's system update rolled out. It's officially available. You can change your TV volume in the dashboard, which is honestly useful. The muting the startup sound, so no more pressing that button. It goes doo doo doo. Your wife isn't going to complain about it no more because she ain't going to hear it. She's not going to come out of the third room and hear it. You can change your home Xbox, so basically you can choose an Xbox that would consider your home Xbox. So any digital downloads you have, you could technically play from your home Xbox, but still play on the original Xbox you bought it from. It was a weird workaround. They did update the name of passkeys to Xbox pins. No big deal there. Xbox controller has a firmware update and a new Xbox update for the app on the phone. You can actually trim the length of the videos, which is useful for anybody who likes to record and then upload straight to social media right away. But another update, Discord. We always love to use Discord. We actually were testing it out today with Ben. I know he's probably not in the podcast today, but he tested it out from his phone, joining the Xbox Discord shit. But you won't need the phone soon, which is nice. Game Pass perks: Fallout 76 25th anniversary bundle comes on the 27th, along with Secret Neighbor sportswear bundle also on the 27th. Yay! Just some free content you get that's included in your subscription. Game Pass is adding touch controls both to Slime Rancher 2 and Persona 5, which are available now, which is awesome because both of those games are brand new and they got touch controls already. And then for Game Pass, new games that are coming out. The first one, two, three, four, 5. Like most of these games are actually already out. To be honest with you, Amnesia Collection, Amnesia Rebirth, Phantom Abyss, which we talked about last week, Soma, Persona 5 Royal, Frog Detective, Gunfire Reborn, and Signalis all are coming to Game Pass or are already out. The last 3 are coming on the 27th, but 8 games are leaving. Alan Wake, American Nightmare, Backbone, Bassmaster Fishing 2022, Non Guns Doppelganger Edition, Project Wingman, Second Extinction, Sniper Elite 4, and The Forgotten City. So, honestly, out of those 8, there's not really any ones to worry about. I mean, unless you want to play Sniper Elite 4 before
That's
you
right.
play
Say
Sniper
Sniper Elite 4.
5, that might be about it.
Well, you know what the crazy thing is? Second Extinction, that was the game that was greenlit here, and then last week just went full release, and now they're like, okay, it's full release, pull it, pull it.
Yeah, now you gotta buy it if you want to enjoy the game at full experience now. It's crazy.
Well, you can at least get it for cheap, I guess, because it's leaving Game Pass.
Yeah, you get a 20% off if you want to buy it. But
Sweet.
that's all of our gaming news, and we just got a couple rumors that I just wanted to touch up real quick. Roger, if you want to start it off here.
Yeah, sure. So Sony may cancel its PlayStation showcase because Microsoft is beating them down. It does not want to help strengthen the Microsoft case against them for the Activision Blizzard acquisition. And the PS5 Pro dev kits may already be in the hands of devs, but because of non-disclosure agreements, they can't say anything. So, like, yeah, is PlayStation doing good, doing bad? We
We're not
don't
really
really
sure.
know.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that they want to potentially cancel their show because of Microsoft is just like, it's just another, to me, another shady tactic because they're just like trying to hide, because basically their showcase is going to show everything that they have coming out soon, and they know 2023 is supposed to be a big year also for PlayStation. We're supposed to be getting Spider-Man 2, we're supposed to be getting Wolverine supposed to be coming out, so we got a bunch of big exclusives.
Single player games,
Yeah.
some really sick ones, and
Right.
now we're just like, we got no info.
Right. So, but basically they don't want to showcase it because they're exclusive games, and if they're riding this wave of, oh man, PlayStation has all these big time exclusive games, it kind of strengthens Microsoft's case there. But PS5 Pro, I don't think we need that yet. Like, I don't know, because most people can't even get a PS5 now. So why are we making a Pro version?
Buddies.
Gotham Knights didn't even need it. Like,
Right.
let's be honest. Like, it was great. Gotham Knights played perfect on a PS4. Oh wait, it wasn't on the PS4.
Right. So that's interesting though. But a rumor though in regards to GTA 6, there's some leaks in regards that we might be getting a full reveal trailer.
I don't believe this was a leak or like not a rumor, but Rockstar confirmed it. A trailer is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
this is the leak.
Yeah,
Yep.
they started putting out like a bunch of teasers, and everyone was like, "There's a trailer right around the corner, isn't there?"
Mhm.
So
Yeah, they have to recoup the issue that like that whole leak of the actual gameplay we saw
yeah,
3 weeks ago.
yeah,
You know
roughly.
that.
It makes sense though, because they want to make sure now that this full official reveal comes out, makes this game look phenomenal and look like those videos that were released trash. So
Right.
hopefully that turns around. But what's last year on the rumors here, Roger?
And last but not least, so with Modern Warfare 2, we may be getting more than we bargained for, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We may be getting zombies as well. So now we'll have Spec Ops Zombies, Multiplayer Warzone,
DMZ,
DMZ, thank
Ground
you,
War,
Ground
And the
War.
campaign.
and the campaign.
And the campaign. What did Battlefield have, guys?
Just multiplayer for
Just
70 bucks.
multiplayer for $70.
No, this,
100 if you bought the expansion, the big edition.
right. And honestly, this is huge, but like we don't really see zombies in a Infinity Ward game, so it'll be interesting to see. Maybe maybe they get Treyarch to again put zombies in, but Treyarch is supposed to be making the next game, so I don't see them having any involvement.
And honestly, like after the last Zombies game, which
We never even played.
flopped,
Yeah, we didn't even play
Yeah.
it. We
Vanguard, well, on launch, it wasn't story. It was literally just an endless mode, and everyone's like, we play for story now.
well,
Zombies is a story game now.
It wasn't even like endless. Like it had like a weird ending to it. Like you played a couple rounds. All right, cool. That's it. It wasn't no longer endless, and then they finally added the round-based zombies back to it.
And there's no story. So like we had this whole grandiose story in Black Ops, and then they were just like, I'm done with you now, and just
Yeah.
like fucking ditched it.
Yeah, it was rough. Dane, were you big zombie fans at all, or are you looking for?
I did. That's yeah. See, I am a round based fan like that. Recently, whenever like Warzone had a little period where I The SPR. That gun was so fucking buffed that it just was the point and click and you were dead. Any distance, any hit, fucking shoot me in the toe and I was dead. Like it was so annoying. And my friends were like, just get the gun and it's more fun. And I was like, no, I want to use my kilo and I want to play Warzone like normal. It's annoying to me that they're letting these things happen. It's all over Twitter. Like it's obvious that there's a meta right now and like they didn't fix it for like 3 or 4 weeks. After like a week of like every night playing, like I literally just could not take it anymore. I was like, I'm so sick of doing this, and I was like, I can't do it anymore. So I went and bought World at War Zombies or World at War, Call of Duty World at War on the Microsoft Store and downloaded it. And I'm sitting here on a Series X with a stream system and everything. I'm just sitting there playing zombies by myself in a round bait with that old ass Colt 45 you get out of the start. Like I was so beaten down by Warzone that all I wanted to do was play round based zombies by myself. And I had so much fun. I kept convincing them to play it. They were like, we are not spending. I think it was like $20. And they were like, we are not spending $20 to get World at War. Like it's just not gonna happen. And I was like, well, I'm not playing Warzone for a couple weeks. I was like, I need a break. And like that's all I did was play round based zombies. So yeah, I'm super excited for the new. That's just I have full high hopes. Like the whole not getting my hopes up is out the window. Like I am fully invested in the new Call of Duty. Warzone better hit, multiplayer better hit, the DMZ better hit. Like it all just better be right. Like it all just better click. And zombies would be a hell, like he said, like a hell of an added bonus that we weren't really expecting. So yeah, I'll take it.
And this game has to be around for 2 years because there's not a new Call of Duty next year. So there got to be enough content to hold people over. And it sounds like we're getting that content. So
I'll take it. I'll take every 2 year Call of Duties if they're going to be a great game like this. Like I don't need a Call of Duty every year if it's just going to be shit filled in like Vanguard and whatever the fuck else. Like yeah, give me a good game every 18 months or 2 years. Do your thing. Take your time.
I'm with
Exactly.
I'm with you on that one. But that's all of our news this week, guys. So we definitely want to thank everyone who checked us out live on Twitch and whoever checks us out later on YouTube. But Roger, where can we find you at?
So you can find me at twitch.tv/lunatic_oblivion. My name is right above here. And then you can find me on Twitter at lunaticoblivion without the underscore.
Awesome. And Dayne, where can we find you at, man?
So my best place to find me is facebook.com/FBGG DJB. So it's FBGG is Facebook's little gaming thing. And then I also have a link tree that leads to all my sites. Like I have Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff for the page. And that's just linktr.ee. So link tree with a dot in between the tree and then / my full name, which is Dayne J. Bartles. And I think Vic put that in the description.
Yep, I just dropped it here in chat, and then I'll drop it. And I'll drop it.
Appreciate you, yeah. But the Facebook's definitely the most important, but I'll take a follow anywhere you're interested.
Hell yeah. And of course, everyone, you can check me out at Twitter at Mr. Never _. Hit me up there. Xbox is X Never Space Chillin'. You want to party, hit me up on that. Facebook, Vic Brubacher. Question, concerns, you want to come on the show, make sure you hit me up on there. My personal Twitch is twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin'. That's where I play my solo games. Currently about to play through Scorn, Modern Warfare 2 campaign, and also multiplayer this week. 5 days to go. But we definitely want to thank everyone again. But until next time, peace.
Thanks for having me, guys. Take care.